Yes, sir. We are here live in studio. Yes. You guys are just getting a taste of that KC juice right now. Yes, sir.
The juice.
It's your boy, Big Jax. Appreciate everybody out there checking us out. Got my co-host, my man, the Stitch Wizard.
That's what he is.
Porter in the house. What it do, Heathen?
I'm here doing what we do.
Yes, sir. I love it. So here's our opportunity. I've been telling you forever that we was going to find a way for us to get online in a whole new way.
Absolutely.
I know, this chance for us to get out here and do our own thing is going to be huge. So as part of what we want to do with that KC Juice is we want to highlight the town, talk about the people from the town, where they come from, what their roots are here in KC. Right. And then they're, from there, what they've developed and what they've built and what they've done over time. So I want to start with me and you. And let's talk about your KC roots. Where the roots dig in for you here in KC?
Came from KCK.
The dot.
Not far from Quindura on top of that.
Right.
But right there off of 18th Street there, grew up there, went to Wyandotte, graduated, moved out to Overland Park, young age, 15, 16, and ended up going to school and moved out to Blue Springs area.
So you've been in Blue Springs for like
25, 30 years, something like that. I've been out there.
Yeah, you was out there when it was still like wilderness.
Yeah, absolutely. Almost. It was. There was nothing past 40 Highway. Yeah. The funny part is I always get a chance to tell people I was born and raised in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Right.
So moved from there to the city and then ended up, kind of getting a chance to live in the suburbs. So I got the best of all three worlds.
Yeah, you got to see it all.
I did.
So, as for me and my KC roots, I love mine. I started in the city in that Vineyard area.
Oh, sure.
46th and Lister.
There it is.
Absolutely. That's where I was, originally lived at. Born right there at St. Joe Hospital, which at that time was on 31st and Prospect, where the Linwood Shopping Center is now.
Oh, wow.
That used to be, that used to be St. Joe Hospital. So I remember as a kid watching them tear that thing down in order to put it in the Linwood Shopping Center.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and then, of course, we ended up moving out south. So them rolling hundreds, as we call it. Yeah, right off 107th and Blue Ridge, Ruskin. Them Eagles, baby. I love them Eagles. Love them Eagles. So, that out south time was, man, like I tell people all the time, it was like Mayberry. Nice. Like everybody knew everybody, you know the neighborhood I grew up in.
The Strat.
Stratford Estates. Yeah, the Strat
All-Star.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
So, it's funny, we called ourselves the Stratford Boys because there had to be 25 or 30 guys, like, within 5 years in age of each other.
Wow.
Like, there's so many of us from Stratford. Yeah. And like I said, when we grew up, it was just a working class neighborhood, so it was diverse. It was, we all had moms and dads.
Which was rare.
Which a lot of people didn't get a chance to have that, Absolutely. So when I look back and I think about Mr. Jones and Mr. Johnson and Mr. Westfall and just so many, Mr. Womack and Mr. Carter, like literally these are all dads that lived and grew, that we grew up around, that were men in our neighborhood that, really showed us a way. These were all hardworking, family men who were there for their families in every way possible, at the school, at every sporting outing, you know, everything that happened, these men were there. So, man, I was so blessed to have, you know, been able to grow up in an environment like that. So that was, you know, my KC roots right there, baby. We out south was no joke at that time. And of course, everything we try to do was going back into the city, but out south was still, you know, where it was at. So,
well, I think it shows today for you. Your son is here with you.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Yeah.
Teaching the next generation.
Yes, sir.
That's what matters the most.
And, you know, that's funny because when I look at our guys, my guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've all got kids and married now and all that stuff. And there's very few of us, you know. I was thinking about this yesterday. I really don't personally have any, like, deadbeat dads in my circle.
Wow.
Like, I can't really think of anybody in my circle who has kids and don't take care of them. Like, wow. That's a foreign concept to us because we all grew up in that environment. Like, that would be shameful for our fathers to allow us to not take care of our kid. That's not even a concept to us. So yeah. I just don't have that, you know, and I hear about these guys and I see them. I see these other people out here with guys that just walk away. I just can't even imagine, bro. Like,
absolutely.
That's crazy to me. And so yeah. I love my family. Like you said, I'm glad my son's here. My whole family's involved in everything we do. Yeah. We are Team Jax, and that's real.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's very real. That's why we Team Jax Productions on this, you know, on that KC Juice. Yeah, that's right.
That's good stuff.
Because we gonna make this happen. So, yeah. And then so we move on. You know, I went to Pittsburgh State. Played a little football along the way. We had a pretty good football team when I was at Ruskin too. And so then got into my dad's business and. You know, had a chance to work for Sprint now, work for you for a long time at the chop shop.
Absolutely.
We got to talk about the shop.
Got to talk about the shop. Well, I want to go back, though, to the car club.
Oh, my God.
1990, I think I was 20 years old. I assembled bunch of friends of mine. I'm just trying to get a bunch of crews of people together so we can all cruise and have a good time. I look up, they make me president. You the one got us here. 30 years later, here I am sitting talking to one of the fellas.
Right. For real.
So I think my life really, that was just astounding to, I don't know, find my way in life. I didn't have a family.
Wow.
And my friends became everything to me, and that is what spawned me into starting a business.
Yep.
So eventually that spawned into a clothing brand.
Right.
And Paradise Originals, first Paradise Clothing Company, and then Paradise Originals, and inventions of products and traveling the world and going and all over.
You know, and I can't come off the car club yet because
back
Paradise Car Club. That's how we met. Actually,
absolutely,
that's where we
did.
Met. And my boy G Arms,
G
Arms,
crazy G Arms,
man, my guy, my guy, no doubt.
Yeah, you are.
But that I was always shotgun on all the trips.
Yes.
Springfield,
yes.
Arkansas.
Oh man,
everywhere we Des Moines. Oh my goodness. So
yeah.
So the car club is something that's so interesting to me because you guys actually that whole movement on Nolan Road, like that was really you guys. Like if our old school viewers really understand what happened in the 90s on Nolan Road, that was crazy, and that was y'all.
I always tell people, if there was a such thing as a character of a Vin Diesel, I was it.
Right.
Because I knew what it was like to have thousands, hundreds of people. We'd throw a party and it'd be 400 or 500 people.
Yeah,
We don't even know
easy.
where they came from.
Right.
You know, so yeah.
And that whole car world. And so what's really cool to me now is I know you, because of your limitations in time,
Right.
with everything you do with being a businessman,
Right.
you don't get to enjoy it as much as everybody, you know, would love you to. But your guys are out here still coming up with new rides, and
I think there's about 5 cars in the works right now,
including
my 2.
Yeah.
So if that gives you any clue.
Yeah.
You know, we still do it.
And what 2? The LeSabre.
I got the LeSabre still working.
What year is that LeSabre?
That's a 1984 LeSabre.
Nice. With that roof, man. That roof is
42-inch blown back, brains out, all over the place.
Sitting on that juice.
Yeah,
you
got
know
all
what
of
I'm
that
saying?
gold backs and all of the cool stuff.
Yeah.
20 million stitches in the interior. Million, I said.
20 million stitches?
20 million stitches in the interior.
Jeez. Good thing you're an embroiderer.
Yeah, that works.
That might help. So the LeSabre is back out actually on the streets. I've seen it.
Brought it back after 14 years.
14 years.
Car's
Sitting in the
sitting
garage.
in my garage with about 2 inches of dirt or dust on it, but I got it back out.
It's on the streets again.
It's on the streets.
And now next you coming with?
I've got the Camaro. I've been wanting to put this thing together for, I don't know, about 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
And drop top Camaro, 95, body kit, the whole 9 yards. We're going all the way to the end with it.
Nice. So yeah, I love when we get a chance to get out on the streets and see the boonies of the world.
Oh my God, Chris,
Pat and Chris and Bob.
Oh man,
these guys are coming with some crazy rides.
As a matter of fact, it's funny you said that. I just got a call from Jimmy. And Jimmy was telling me, he's like, hey, man, we should probably get together because we getting our new plaques coming in.
Oh, yeah.
And then little B calls me like, and 30 minutes later, man, we need to get some shirts for the show. And he's like, man, we should call a meet.
Y'all getting ready for World of Wheels?
World of Wheels.
Yeah,
so,
World of Wheels.
I think we're supposed to have about 8 to 10 down there.
Wow.
After 30 years.
Paradise.
Still in the
I mean,
house.
it just... I always say that when I look at these new Cadillacs and these new cars coming off these lots now,
Right.
with these 26s and 28s on them, they got that from y'all.
We started that.
Y'all started that. I mean, like for a car to come from a dealer like that,
Right.
That did not happen back then at all.
What?
And because of y'all and then the businesses that have sparked around that whole thing that y'all did,
Right.
that actually pushed the dealers into saying, wow, we like that. Well, let's see if we can get them to do that for us.
As a matter of fact, one of our members, Chad Dirt, he actually took the idea to the next level. He was working with, I think it was Olathe Ford and a couple of other big dealers. He actually offers that they get the whole package.
Yeah,
with the 26s and all of the stuff. He
The
does
lift
it
kit
literally
and the whole
everything. Right there. And to think we started out with just some little mini trucks.
Yeah, the mini trucks, boy.
Cruising the street.
Yeah.
You know? Cool stuff.
So, man, I'm telling you that is why, in my opinion, obviously you're sitting on Nolan Road right now with the Chop Shop. Like you said, everything. When I tell people, I was somewhere and I ran into a guy. I know exactly. I was at the Negro Leagues Museum.
Okay.
And I'm going in the door and I got a T-shirt on that says Chop Shop. And so the guy opens the door for me. He's working down there. He's like, man, Chop Shop, what is that? This man has on a T-shirt that says Chop Shop. And I'm like, it's an embroidery shop out in Independence. And people are like, embroidery? Like, how did you get there? But it makes so much sense when you know the backstory of because you being in the car club and the idea of going in and putting 20 million stitches in your interior,
right, right,
is what brought about the chop shop and then like you said the clothing line. Well, really the clothing line and then the shop, really.
Then the chop shop.
Yeah, because you were embroidering out of the garage at first, right?
I was.
Yeah.
I actually started out of another lady's place, interning for her, and at night she'd let me run my own products. And then from there, I ended up teaching myself how to actually do it. And shoot, a couple of years later, I opened my own.
Nice. So, Stitch Wizard, as we say. I mean, if you look at the jersey that you got on right now, if we look at the custom embroidery work, and I've said this for a long time. You know, we were into the bikers piece of what, you know, everything that you do with the biking world.
Right.
And so that gave, you know, an opportunity to travel and see all these different people from all over the country.
Oh, man.
And when I see the embroidery work that these guys get in these other places and I see I can always tell when it's your work. Because it it has another level. It's just different. It's not the same. So that's so huge, man, to be able to be known as the best embroiderer, I say, in the world.
Well, Stitches Magazine believes so. I've been nominated 5 times as the best in the world.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say and it's, to me, it's the heart of it. It ain't really the fact that, anyone can design something, anyone can, but it's like that extra oomph that you give it, that flavor, that touch, that I'm gonna use this color instead of the norm, and that's what gives it that extra.
Yeah. What's good, world? It's your boy Big Jax. I'm here with one of our great sponsors here on that KC Juice. It is the Kansas City Daiquiri Shop, 1116 Grand, downtown Kansas City, right up the street from the T-Mobile Center. Whether you guys are coming in from out of town or you're here in town, you gotta come check out the Dak Shop. And not only do they have the best daiquiri selection in the whole city, but then you got the food. Like, these are my mango habanero wings, my favorite wings in the whole city. Not only do they have that, though, they got the etouffee, they got the red beans and rice, they got the burrito tacos. I'm telling y'all gotta come check it out. Not only that, you can sit out, smoke a cigar, grab a hookah on this beautiful patio here at the Dak Shop, one of my favorite spots in the whole city. Shouts out to my man Calvin Big. Thank you so much, Big, for sponsoring us. That's on the yo. And you guys, again, gotta come check it out. 1116 Grand, downtown Kansas City. It's the Kansas City Daiquiri Shop. Check it out.
And to me, I try to put that into the guy that paid me $10 all the way out to the guy that gave me $5,000.
Right.
Because that is my brand.
Yeah. And I see that a lot. I always love the fact that I encourage people. I always tell them, give him an idea of what you want,
right?
But then let him go. If you just pay him his money and let him go,
and the more you pay, the more you gonna get.
I'm just saying, that's just the reality.
It's true.
But if you just pay him his money and let him go, he gonna come out with something that you've never seen before.
Ever.
So
I've got a vest there right now. A guy's got right at about 1,400 in it.
Wow.
But I've done a vest I think I did one that cost almost 4,000. Ostrich skin, the whole 9 yards. I think we went all the way to the hilt with this thing. Yeah, that's
it can get as custom as you want. I always have loved the one you did for 50.
Yes.
50 Cent?
50 Cent with the 9 bullet holes. Yeah. I seen a tear in his eye when I handed it to him. I actually handed it to him, and he was like, man, you did this? I said, yes, I did. Yeah. He said, man, you really are good at this. Thank you.
No doubt.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so, and while we're talking about, because I'm just interviewing you, because we got to go back again to the clothing line.
Please.
And talk about the development, the magic show, the development of the clothing line, the things you got to experience in that time period are, we talking, you think about FUBU came out about in what, 90?
They were like right at around 95, 96.
Right.
I started developing in 96 and I debuted around 97, 98.
Right.
So I met them 2 years after they came out.
Right.
And it was the wildest thing knowing all of the people you see on TV.
Yeah.
And here they are right here in front of you, and you're like, "What's up, man?"
Right.
And that was wild because it just opened up so many doors for me being that Midwest, you know. At that time, as a matter of fact, a gentleman named Sean wrote a story on me, and the storyline was the greatest clothing brand you've never heard of.
Right.
And I thought to myself, wow, that's pretty ballsy to say that. But when you really think about it, we were really doing next level things.
Yeah. I still got Paradise stuff from 95, 96 time frame, like still at the house right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that brand, and I've always been a guy that was big on local brands anyway. The Thuolos and
oh wow, I ain't heard that one in a minute.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I've always tried to support local brands. That was always important to me. You know, it's important to me to support local business and black business. So I've always loved the idea of supporting those guys, and you know, I wear I am KC right now, you know, for that same reason. So, but what you did, what Paradise did as a brand, and what you developed that into with the shop, and to be able to be here now, you've been in that same location for 20-some years. 24 years right there on Nolan Road. That's huge to be able to stick around that long. There are very few embroidery shops like yours that even exist anymore. Like,
they are becoming, to me, I tell people, it's becoming an art form almost.
Again, because when you look at the old school of it, when you go back to the colonial, when you go to the royal families,
it started for kings and queens.
Period.
The ideal of putting something on your clothing came from the ideal of only a king would be able to wear that.
Even afford that.
So y'all remember that when you out here trying to get it done. Know that it costs.
You have to pay this kingly ransom.
Yeah.
To be paid.
There you go.
But like I said, because of that, and to see what you've been able to do with the shop, like I said, the biker world was a whole nother. That was a whole nother time frame. That was a whole new world right there.
I want to step back in time just a little bit and say it afforded me to meet people like Tech Nine, and I could go on down the list. Most of the guys that are famous today, I Am KC, Walt, all of them, DJ Fresh. I was making those guys, Nelly.
Yeah.
I made all of those guys clothes way back in the day. So it was a great thing to build up to this point here now. And part of the reason why I stayed there on Nolan Road was the nostalgia of it, number one, and also starting an embroidery shop would keep me near what my first love was, and that's designing clothes.
Right.
So that's truly why I did it. And guess what? Just this year, I'm starting to work with a patent attorney. I'm trying to release my new hat, all of the cool stuff. I'm coming back with the brand.
Yeah.
So just to step back and give some homage to those fellas.
Man.
Appreciate y'all for what y'all did for me.
Right.
To introduce me to the Snoop Dogs of the world.
Right.
And I forgot. I mean, it's just a billion people I met in this industry.
Yeah.
So
LL Cool J, I think about that picture.
Oh man,
Coolio,
Jay-Z, and all of those fellas, man. That was wild going to parties and Russell Simmons like, hey, he's with me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm with him, you know, so it was just cool, but it was. And the thing I can honestly say though about it is I never lost my place. I knew I was with some of the biggest, most broad stars in the world, but I never lost who I was.
Right.
So I always knew that, hey, when this is over, you gonna go back home. You going back to Blue Springs.
Right.
But it was humbling, but also it gave me something to shoot for. So thankful.
We know. I mean, we keep on it. You just mentioned Tech Nine.
Yes.
And, I love the story of you introducing Tech to Travis.
Absolutely.
How'd that?
The phone call came. It was like a Thursday night.
Because you were working with Trav on the clothing line at one point.
Travis O'Gwen is actually my second or third business partner. Mm-hmm. So we were working together, traveling the country, getting my brand ready. We had had put a deal on the table with JCPenney's. We were getting ready to ship them about $3 million worth of clothing. And at the time, Tech was going through some financial things with some of the labels he was with. And he actually reached out and asked me, I would like to meet him. You think you could get him to come over to the house? And I'm like, I put the phone up to my ear. And the next thing you know, George, one of the guys that had worked with us, he grabs Tech. They get together. They cut a deal. And I'm sitting downstairs literally knowing that Tech is getting ready to probably work with him.
Wow.
But I was happy for him.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that of this one thing, I knew that he might work better with him. Mm-hmm. And they actually did.
Wow.
They took off into the night, into the stars.
Yeah.
And to this date, they actually have the #1 underground record label in history.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Match made.
Yeah, perfect match made.
And the cool part is I may not have the different type of, but the respect and the thought that 20-something years later, I'm still here.
Yeah, for real.
So I guess it actually worked out.
It's all working out, for sure.
Go.
So, this KC Juice. So we digging straight in. This is something that for me is such a project of passion. Yeah. This is where I'm comfortable. This is my this is my spot right here. So I cannot wait for us to continue to work and develop and make this KC Juice what it's going to be. I think the town, we haven't even talked about the town yet. We've been talking about us.
Oh man.
I just cannot believe where we're sitting right now. Like, I'm so excited about what's going on in Kansas City right now. Like,
just won a Super Bowl.
I mean, 2 Super Bowls in 4 years.
Huge.
You got the NFL draft. That World Cup deal is so huge.
Yes, it is.
That is so huge. And I don't care the fact that we don't necessarily pay that much attention to World Cup soccer.
Right.
But when you understand the impact that it has in the World Cup soccer, and understand the number and the sheer just volume of people who are going to be interested in being here during that time period, there's so much opportunity that's going to be available in this city, and that's the part that excites me, is that there's just going to be opportunities for people to do things and build businesses. I mean, this is the real thing that we're working on here, right? This is really happening right now. So
truthfully, I want to see the common guy that had the dream, that stuck in here and stayed in Kansas City, finally get his due, finally get a chance, because to me that brings about a light from a place that we've never been able to see. When St. Louis did well on the world stage, look at what it did for their city. And to me, that's what I want to see us, because we didn't get to benefit from the last Super Bowl. We all in the house talking about you can't leave, and now I truly believe that we might get a chance on a world stage to get all of the visitors, to stop through KC and say hi, see what it's all about. We really do have some of the coolest fountains in the world.
I'm so happy to see this airport about to open up here. Like,
I know.
Again, that's huge.
Huge.
Because we had developed such a bad reputation in terms of being a not friendly place for people to travel, the business travelers. And so I tell people, all the time when that whole airport thing was up, KCI was actually built for people who live here.
Right.
And we're traveling.
Right.
It was built for the residents of Kansas City, Missouri, of Kansas City, who had to travel. Well, over time, that's not what airport travel is about anymore. Yeah. Airport travel is about business people who have to travel.
Right.
That's who matters, because as a resident of Kansas City who wants to travel, maybe I go to the airport twice a year.
Right.
Maybe 3 times if I'm lucky.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where you've got people who are flying in and out all the time, constantly. Right. That's who they're trying to, cater to. So for us to now have that level of airport, to be able to really attract, like you said, when people come here, their first impression is, wow, okay, this is the real thing. Like,
I'm interested to see the difference in, like, I know you said the business traveler, but the congestion of it. Yeah. Will it be able to contain and move people in and out and things like that?
I'm always laughing at the baggage system. That's huge. Like, moving all them bags around. They say that second level or the underground level of that airport is all baggage system.
Wow.
Yeah. So, like you said, just to see us, I'm sure there are going to be some growing pains. Yeah. I know some people were concerned about the fact that they're so local with all the restaurants. I think that's a great thing. But I don't travel that much. So, again, I'm looking at it from a local perspective, is the idea that these Kansas City businesses are out there in front of the world as people come through Kansas City makes sense to me. Like,
shoot, I'm gonna try to get a little store out there. You know what I mean? If nothing, for a few months, just absolutely. To bring awareness. Yeah. So I get it.
So I'm just excited about that. And then, like you said, with streetcars, another thing that I love, the fact that we're not only this expansion is underway, going from now, it'll go from City Market all the way to UMKC. Yeah. Well, really, they're going to go back over the other side of the river so they can go to the riverfront too. Wow. And then they're already figuring out east and west. So it's the real thing. Like, when they first put that 2.5 miles in from City Market to Union Station, it was kind of like, but what state do we live in again? Missouri. The show me state. So people here, you have to show them that it was going to work,
I think that streetcar is what blew downtown up.
It took it to the next level.
I've seen it growing, but it's like it really has become one thing now,
Right.
People moving down there. Everybody wants to be downtown. And
mass transit, when you start that process, and that's what it was, Kansas City's a car place.
Right.
The car club. So,
right.
Kansas City's a car place. And so there was no real emphasis on mass transit.
Right.
So once you become a real city, though, that's all part of the deal, because the type of people, the demographic that wants to live downtown are people who like to then go out downtown, right where they're close to where they live, and be able to have drinks and then come home and not have to get in a car.
Right.
Because I don't want to deal with a DUI or none of that. So,
none of that.
So now the idea, and that's what I've been telling people, it's funny, people were thinking that the plaza is going to help downtown. No, it's the other way around now.
Right.
Downtown is now going to help revitalize and revitalize the plaza, because, retail is tough anyway.
Yes, it is.
But to get people to the retail, at least from, again, coming all these people that move downtown, like you said, that's really the difference. It's not just about Power and Light.
Right.
It's really about all those apartments on 12th Street now. Right. All those people living in all over downtown. The number of people who actually live there, 1, 2, and 3 light. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like towers of people. So the number of people where my son lives at, and that Armour Gillum area. Wow. That whole thing down there is insane to me. Every time I drive through there and I see 2 towers of apartments going up on Troost and Armour.
Right.
Did you say Troost?
I'm really looking forward for that skyscraper. I'm waiting. I'm like, somebody's got to do it. Go on up in the air.
I just love that maybe, like I said, because those towers are sitting on Troost, that means there's possibly some development that's going to go east of Troost.
Possibly.
And we know in this city, that's huge.
Troost. Yeah, that's the stop. Border
that's
line,
the dividing line. Let's get real. You know, it was crazy to me. We went to the National African American Museum in D.C.
Yeah,
the new museum.
Yeah,
and when you walk in and they start talking about, because you know you start at the bottom of this museum. I love that museum, one of my favorites. You start at the bottom in 1619, basically, and you start to come to the story of slavery and everything and the development over Jim Crow and everything over time. You just keep going up levels in this museum. And so when you get to that part where they're talking about Jim Crow laws, just after Jim Crow and the signing of the Fair Housing Act, and then they talk about redlining.
Oh, God.
And when they talk about redlining, bam, Kansas City, Troost, right there in the museum, bro.
We're the example.
We are the example. And I was like, wow, that's for the world to know. And if you don't understand, it's like, you know, it's no little Kansas City thing. No, this thing is something that went around the country that was coming right from here. And so it's so huge when you look at Mr. Nichols.
When gave the world that.
There you go.
There you go.
But to see, you know, one of my favorite people is Ollie Gates. I love to talk to Ollie about this.
Ollie is cool people.
Ollie is passionate about East of Troost. So, you know, if everything he does is
East of
Troost.
Wow, I never really thought about that. You're right.
Yes.
Wow, I never even really. Wow.
Yes, he's very much, because he lived through. You're talking about a black man in business in Kansas City in the 60s.
Wow.
So
unheard of.
Very few. Very few.
Right.
So what he's lived through and what he's seen, and he's seen the impact of what that separation brought in this city. Right. And so for me, you know, like I said, I'm so excited about the town, and to see those towers going up on Troost tells me there's chance for that to develop on both sides of this. And that's always been a complaint. I can't even, you know, when people talk about the streetcar, you know, a lot of people in the community, in the hood, and on East of Troost, they look at it as, why should we have supported that thing when they were talking about bringing the taxes that were going to be used to pay for it, because it's a tax increment financing district.
Right.
So, yes, there were going to be taxes from your property taxes that were going to have to be paid in order to have the streetcar go east and west from the beginning.
And they still end up paying it.
Well, it ended up that the people didn't vote for it. They voted it down.
But they raised their taxes.
Well, it's kind of a bone. What happened was the downtown businesses, who are most of the property owners downtown, they understood, for them as business people, the benefits of it.
Right.
So they were willing to pay. They're willing to pay. They're paying that tax.
Right.
Now, like you said, unfortunately, the people didn't see enough benefit, and they were not willing to pay.
Right.
Now they see it a little bit more now. Right. Now, like you said, unfortunately, what a mess that was with these property taxes and how that all played out.
It still went up.
Killed them with it too.
Yeah.
But like I said, it really is so much development going on here that hopefully, and I'm very hopeful, because I see our leaders, some of our leaders, talking about reasonably priced housing.
Right.
trying to find ways to help with the houseless.
Right.
The beloved, as my guy Pastor Carline would say, Team Jesus.
Team Jesus.
One of the best things going. I love.
Oh man,
Team. I can't wait to bring him in here.
Oh, he's so KC.
He's
man.
so KC.
Guess where he is right now? Africa.
Kenya. Nairobi,
He's in Kenya helping people.
Yeah, because the people I work for are from Kenya.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I hooked them up so that they would have a little extra reference while they were over there. You know what I mean? Yeah. The lady I work for, she actually runs like a program in Kenya where she has like 185 kids she feeds every day.
Wow.
They come to their center every day. Wow. She's got like 85, and then she's got like another 85 ladies who are widows. And I guess within their culture and their if you don't have a husband, it can be kind of hard. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's hard for women to be able to just go out and do everything they need to do. So she helps try to help them, find the resources that they need to have their businesses or send their kids to school or all the things that they need in order to help them. So she told me, I can't wait to come on the podcast. So yeah, Monica, her and Ben, good people, man. And like you said, they being from Kenya. So when I heard him say he was going over there, I'm like, oh, you got to meet my people, Yeah. So they hooked up. So I mean, Team Jesus is just so incredible. I can't wait. What they do out in the streets, that's real ministry.
That's beautiful. I think it was so cool. He said that these shirts right here, he had took a box. He said, I'm going to pass these out in Africa for you. Your work will be in Africa. And I just thought, wow, that is so cool,
Yeah.
So, beautiful, man.
Love it, man. So the connections we make through the shop, man, is just incredible.
Oh, man.
What we got going on out here in the streets, that's kind of why we're doing this. Like I said, we're so excited about what's going on here in the town. Like I said, I've never felt as much energy running through Kansas City as there is right now.
And you can feel it too.
You can feel it.
It's like it's bubbling. You just know something's gonna happen.
It's just constant.
It's happening. And with
if these Chiefs can run about 4 more off, I swear. I was laughing. I was telling somebody, our families always ended up on the parade route. Whether it was the Royals or both of these Chiefs parades. I said next year I think we're gonna go to the rally. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Next year. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Next year, I think we're gonna go to the rally. You know what I mean?
I think it was a few years back. We were sitting on the porch out there talking, and I was like, "Man, I ain't never been to a Super Bowl parade."
Yeah.
And now here we are.
Yeah.
I was too tired for the last one. I'm like, man, I'm exhausted. I can't do that. And I'm just thinking to myself, wow, but I'll get another chance.
Yes, you will.
That's KC.
That's KC, baby.
That's the juice.
That's the juice. So, man, what a great night. I'm glad we got a chance to do this and, kind of sit down and talk about our own KC juice and where it comes from. So, shouts out to Team Jax as we get off in this adventure. Shouts out to the Chop Shop.
Absolutely.
We coming with the merch. True. So we're going to send you straight to the Chop Shop for the merch. Straight to the Chop Shop. ChopShopKC.com, baby.
Good stuff.
Yeah, get chopped. And like I said, you can, the shop does not only embroidery, not only screen printing, signs, banners, graphics, everything.
Airbrushing. If it's custom, we do it. On clothing or anything. We do it. So.
Get it done. So we'll be definitely getting a chance to check that out with you as well.
True.
Man, I'm glad we went on and did this tonight.
True.
Good
stuff.
We got a lineup for you guys coming, so don't even sweat that. We're going to be talking to some of the biggest names here in Kansas City. Our point is to have conversations with people who are from the town, who are doing things either here or somewhere else that matters. So that's why we're going to dig into your KC roots, see where you're from, and then let you know what we got going. So you guys stick around. We'll definitely be coming back at you with this KC juice. Yes, for my co-host, the Stitch Wizard.
Stitch.
Heath Porter's in the house, baby. Heathen. It's your boy, Big Jax. This is the juice, man. We are out of here. I love y'all. Remember, love makes the difference.
Amen.
We out of here. Peace.
Peace.